Today, Precarious plays
Zone of the Enders, the second runner.
Enemy approaching. Unmanned battle planes.
I love these cutscenes.
Unmanned combat aircraft. Mosquito. Individual attacks.
I think that we should probably go ahead and talk about why we're playing the 360 version of the game
Yes.
instead of any other version of the game.
So just to be clear, we are playing the Xbox 360.
It's Zone of the Enders HD collection
Yes.
on the 360.
And we have that one, and we also have the original for the PlayStation 2. And we just spent a little while debating and testing to see which one we're going to play.
Yes, I'll connect you now.
And spent a lot of time going, I put...
Where are you now?
and decided,
Don't move.
In the
I'll be
end,
there soon.
we didn't decide.
yeah.
What we're going to do is at some point I'm just going to keep switching. We're not going to go over the same gameplay again, but I'm just going to keep switching between the PS2 version and the 360 version until one of them sticks, which might never happen. I might be switching every other recording session right up until the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for that is because, first off, I should mention we don't have access to a PS3. And I do not know if the patch that was supposed to be released for that version of the game is significant enough to warrant trying to find it.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe we can find a way to look at a copy of that version of the game as well.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why we started with the 360 version today, though, is because I wanted, like, the spectacle for the opening cutscenes.
Yes, because they are beautiful.
Yeah, it's really pretty stunning in 1080p. Not so much the widescreen, like the 16:9 aspect ratio, just because the cutscenes already emulated that anyway.
Mm-hmm. In the original PS2 version.
Right, because they had a big black bar at the bottom.
Yeah, it was almost like the letterbox thing that got popular for a little while.
Yeah, but it was just at the bottom of the screen instead of at the top and bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Which I understand. I actually appreciate that, just because it creates a nice big area for subtitles.
Yeah. Which we couldn't find the... Wait, I don't know if that's true.
What?
What was with the audio? We couldn't find the Japanese voice option?
I was hoping that they would have an option in the HD collection for Japanese voiceovers.
Mm-hmm.
Because while I was playing through it again, remember how in the first game sometimes the script, like the delivery of it, and the delivery is, you can only do so much with what you're given.
Yeah.
The writing could be, like, distracting.
Yeah.
Because it was a little awkward at times.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing.
And so we were hoping to skip that and just...
Because I'm trying to take a more serious look at the quality of the game, and it's hard to do that whenever "you use weird things" happens.
Yeah,
you
so
know? Whenever you're reminded of all the weird things you use.
Other than the factual information provided by the dialogue, I think we're just going to have to give the dialogue a shrug and assume that the original was better. Right? Are we just gonna give them a free pass?
I don't know, because the tone is so different. I'm trying to think of a comparison, right? It's a different genre. This is, I mean, it's this epic scope, like epic in scope. You go from planet to planet, and the stakes are much higher. You're fighting for, like, eventually, I believe it comes down to like the safety of like planets and systems, right? Well, not systems, because I'm pretty sure that even in the world of Zone of the Enders, I think that it's still like just this one system that's colonized, right?
Right.
I'm not sure about that. I don't know how far out humanity has gone. But
And the other one was basically one oddly gifted child trying to come to terms with the world.
yeah, and his world was that one station that he lived in.
Yeah, it wasn't even a whole planet.
Right.
So
It was like a tiny. It was like a maybe a nation, like a small nation.
Yeah.
Is the scale that you were operating at. I should probably talk about some of the gameplay changes.
Is on. Destroy with a burst
Yeah.
attack.
Do I have time to start that now, or do you want to talk about something else?
Well,
Stop moving and hold RT.
yeah,
Then hit
I think
the
that you
X
do.
button for a burst attack.
The first game had burst attacks, right?
Yes.
Did it have... It had this one, right?
Yes.
Did it have the homing lasers?
I
I cannot remember. I don't think it bodes well for the first game that even though we played the entire thing on this channel,
we have record of it.
I cannot remember if you have burst lasers. I don't think they did like the big enemy swarm thing in the first game. I think it was just shot. I don't think you had...
God, this is so cool with all the bits and the rockets. Ah!
The controller is going insane.
As it should be. Whoa. Yeah, that vehicle has no hope of survival.
No, it's fine.
Well, yeah, with distractions.
Yeah, it probably would have gotten
You'll have to give it to me.
destroyed pretty quickly if it weren't for Jehudi.
You don't
But
look like a mining man to me.
Get lost.
What? Get lost and then she just yells?
yeah, well, it's because they're engaging in combat now.
Okay.
So one of the things that I can't remember if it was in the first game or not, but it wound up being, it's one of my favorite features of this whole game. It's the, I think it's called Combo Crash or Combo Crush.
Yeah.
So on the fourth hit, the game is a little slower than it was on PS2, and it's throwing off my timing.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that we really considered heavily just playing it on the PS2. Because other than it being the original version released in North America, it plays faster.
What?
Other than the PS2 version, the one that was localized for here being the first one that was released, the other one that we had. Other than that,
Yeah.
it
Sorry,
actually plays
just,
differently.
There was something about what you said that made me think that like maybe you thought that like the copy of Zone of the Enders 2 I have on the PS2 was something that I got that was uncommon.
Oh, no.
Like it was an import or something.
Yeah. I wonder how uncommon it is now, though. Well, the whole point is that the actual gameplay is a little... It has a different rhythm. It has a different tempo. Yeah, not rhythm. Same rhythm, different tempo.
Oh,
Do you have enough brain space during this boss fight to talk about the difference in the feel of the combat?
Yeah. Compared to Zone of the Enders 1 or
Compared to
The PS2 version.
PS2 version.
everything is just a little bit slower, especially once you start firing homing lasers.
Do you think that they did that just to make it more beautiful?
No, I think that ultimately it is a programming error. Because they eventually fixed it on the from what the internet says, they eventually fixed it on the PlayStation 3 version of the game.
Okay. So that's why we were searching well, we were considering searching for the PlayStation 3 version because it would be beautiful like this, but also the combat would feel the same, or at least more familiar.
You want this frame, don't you?
Maybe.
Yeah, and not just
That's too rough.
It sure is.
Who's the commander?
like
You think I'll tell?
the articles that I was looking at, they were all from like 2014, right?
Right.
Part of me wonders if they didn't eventually do additional patches for the 360 version of the game, because there are visual effects. There are some like anti-aliasing
Alright, I'll try to head them
effects.
off.
You will?
Take care, Angie.
What?
There are some anti-aliasing effects, like on type and some of the particles, and especially on like the line, like all of the speed lines and
Yeah.
lasers.
Inside enemy battleship.
They look
If we don't do something, we'll be crushed along with Callisto.
as good
We have no
as
choice.
I recall the PlayStation 3 images looking after the patch. So I don't know. It's a mess, is what I'm getting at, right?
And-
Right now, I feel like there's no definitive edition of Zone of the Enders 2. And that is a fucking shame. It kind of, at first I was like sort of grossed out whenever I heard that they were remaking the HD collection for, I think, PlayStation 4. Like they're doing that now.
Right now?
And they're adding VR support of all things. Could you imagine trying to play this in VR?
No,
It is a hilarious proposition.
well, would you still be in third person?
I don't know. Does it matter?
Well, yeah.
Hey, you know that thing that's like is very noticeably making people upchuck whenever they try to
Oh,
try to
yeah.
play with it?
Well, there's that too. I did not think about the motion sickness factor, but I was thinking, yeah, no, this would just, someone's gonna have like seizures or just lots of the throwing up. But I mean, I always wanted a VR giant fighting robot game
This
where
is
you would
not
get
the
to.
one.
No, this is not a good time to do that. But I just want to sit in the cockpit of something like Djibouti, and that maybe goes a little slower, so that I can still like enjoy it, and click these 4 buttons here, and then
I think From Software.
go.
I think From Software already made that game.
I heard someone attempted a game like that, and that might be the game that you're talking about,
Yeah.
but I heard that it was also not good, and you
Right.
would accidentally self-destruct on a regular basis because the controls
Because
were
of
so
the Kinect.
fuzzy.
Yeah. So before we go, I just want to take a quick moment to appreciate this amazing visual effect.
I love those toes.
Yeah, on the whenever you're on metal, Jehudi leaves a little red hot skid.
Gotta love it. It's like an ice skater mixed with a butterfly.
Why can't I do the flip? Do the flip.
Does it not do the flip? I don't know why you can't do the flip.
I think I've already done the flip since we've been recording. Flip? Maybe you have to be ascending and then dash? Maybe you have to be in the presence of enemies? I don't know. I was gonna do a flip. Can't do a flip though. Good job, loser. Can't even flip your giant robot.